name is Troshynski. I live in Emmet, Nebraska, and I've lived in Holt County consecutively for 11 years now, but then I also grew up and graduated from here as well. I played a lot of softball. Softball was like the thing to do in the summertime. During school, we'd be going to basketball games and stuff like that. I had siblings that were always playing boys and girls basketball, football, volleyball, track, all of those things. So I was always going to those events. So yeah, most of my memories are around those sporting events where we were either in them or attending them. Sports was a big part of it, and that's what I spent a lot of my time doing here. That's what a lot of my memories are from: the softball fields, the gyms, the traveling to the different locations around the area, all of those things. I went to college at UNL, and I went in 2003. I majored in computer science and business and went to the honors program there. They had a special computer science and business honors program called J.D. Edwards, now called the Rakes program. And that's where I graduated from. So I went there all 4 years. It was a really great experience. And yeah, I was involved in not too many things because I was very focused on my studies there. But yeah, it was definitely a very great experience, and I have met so many people that are still in my life today that were in college. After college, I wanted to just experience a big city. I was in Lincoln, but I wanted to experience a big city close to home. So my choice for that was Chicago. So I was looking for jobs in Chicago and trying to find something that interested me there. I landed on a consultant project, well, not really a project, but a consultant job with a major tech firm called Accenture. And there was a lot of travel, a lot of change in my environment. I loved it. You would be on different projects all the time, and you would have to, basically get a new job every 6 months to a year. And I think Boston was like where I was at the most of the time. But I would fly to Boston on the Mondays, come back on Thursdays. So I basically lived in 2 big cities at once. And it was really fun. It was really fun. I was also very young, so that's why it was very fun. And then I kind of got a little burnt out from Chicago, so then decided I'd always wanted to live in the mountains, noticed that everything is usually around location instead of jobs, which I'm very thankful and lucky for. So then I ended up going to Colorado, and I really liked food at that time, so I wanted to go around where the food movement was really big. So I went to Boulder and was able to, I had a connection from Accenture, so I was able to get a job really quickly in the Boulder area, and I was also able to, do different things with farms in Boulder as well while I had that job. So that was something that was very fun and exciting. And I would go to farmers markets all the time and taste all the different produce, and then I would talk to the farmers about how they grew the produce that tasted so good. So it was a very long running thing where, yes, I worked, but I also had a lot of fun, specifically around food. But then, after a few years of that, I was like, okay, this is a lot of fun, but now I kind of want to, buy something and settle down a little bit and not be traveling all over. And when I was looking at buying something, all I could think about was Nebraska, so in Holt County. So that's where I ended up. That's why I'm in Emmet. Emmet I thought was a great location because it's in between O'Neill and Atkinson. My mom's originally from Atkinson, my dad's originally from O'Neill, so there couldn't be any conflict there. I was exactly in the middle, as much as you could be. So I had affiliation to both, and I still do. So I think it's kind of funny where Emmet was my place where I could, have Atkinson and O'Neill both, the big cities in Holt County. I'd be right in between them. So that's how I ended up in Emmet, and I have a little acre with a house and shed, and I built a geothermal greenhouse, and yeah, it's been fun. My occupation, I work for Huddle, which is a video and data sports company, so we focus a lot on video and data. I've worked for them the entire 11 years I've been back in Nebraska. I actually knew them from college. That's why I'm still working with and hanging out with a lot of the smart people that I went to college with. I am able to do that work remotely, and even the work that I was doing anywhere else in Boulder, Chicago, like all of that work is work that you can do remotely, and that is something that I knew that I could do from Holt County, and when I needed to go to Lincoln, it wasn't hard to do. You just hop in the car and you drive 3 hours. I know 3 hours isn't super fun, but when you're in Nebraska, it's like everything's 3 hours away. So it's never too crazy. And living here is great because I have, time. I have time to, work with food. I like growing food. The geothermal greenhouse was, a little plug about, yes, I love growing food. I usually have a really big garden, but since I'm a little pregnant right now, I don't have a garden this summer. And I have chickens and ducks and cats and dogs and, the whole shebang. And I also co-own a little indoor farmers market here called Wildflour Grocer. That's been so fun and so great, and has actually gotten a lot of recognition across the state about how unique and different it is. It's been really fun being a part of that and working with the people that I work with there at Wildflower. So even though I work for Huddle and work remotely, I see them fairly often. I also have my Wildflower people here that I work with, so if I need that social interaction that a lot of remote people need when they're working remotely, I have that with Wildflower. So it's a very perfect combination. What makes Holt County special, I guess, the thing for me is the people. The people are very kind here. I mean, great examples of the kindness is when people have some sort of traumatic happening in their life, whether they're diagnosed with a disease or have a traumatic car accident, and maybe they can't afford the medical care. People are always coming together and doing auctions or spaghetti feeds or something just to get people the money that they need. And not every community is like that. Not very many communities are like that. So that's where it's when you live in a community that is like that can see the need, that's where it's very amazing to be in a community that is like that, where they see people in need and they try to help them. It's just what people do, and it's, people all over the community that are doing it, all over the county are doing it. I mean, it doesn't matter. I sat down at a pancake feed in Atkinson, and people were talking to me and my mom about my cousin in Ewing, so it's just everyone knows everyone and is concerned and wanting to help. It just makes you feel safe, and it makes you feel like people care. The other thing too is, so that's the community aspect of it, and just how people are here when they react to some sort of trauma, but also the history of it. My dad's originally from Holt County, my mom's originally from Holt County. Both families had homesteaded within a couple of miles of each other. My mom still lives on the homestead of the Troshynski homestead, so we've had that in our family for over 125 years. Just having that historical aspect of it and knowing that this is where our family came is really cool. And we always have family coming in. I have family that lives here, which is really fun because I've never, I moved away and didn't have family. Now I have a lot of family around, and it's always really fun, to see your cousins in the grocery store and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really two things that are really cool that make Holt County really cool for me specifically. They're the reason why I'm here. One of the big reasons I came back was because I was thinking about how could I grow the best food, talking to all of these farmers, in Colorado who are basically growing in clay with no water. They can make their food taste pretty well, like Holt County has amazing soil. I actually think that Holt County has the potential to make the best food in the whole world because of the soil that we have and that we're living on top of. And if we take care of it, and if we, grow the right things, I think we can really have amazing food here. That's what makes me the most excited about Holt County and what we have here, and just the potential. We have a lot of space. We can be doing this. We can be growing all of this great food. So it's just a matter of trying to organize it and to get it done. And Wildflour has definitely encouraged people to expand their growing, which has been really fun to see over the past, I think 7 years is how long we've been around. So it's been really cool to see, how many more farmers we're getting, and how much more they're growing just because of the attraction of Wildflour and how many people we have coming to buy from us. So it's cool to see. I really like just how, and it's how easy transport is. Being in the city, I was just in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, trying to have a child in the city where it's like, oh, do you bring the car seat to the restaurant if you're taking a cab with you? Just stuff like that you don't worry about when you're in an area where you're driving your own car and you have your own parking spot. It's very different having a child in the city than it is having a child in the country. And having a 1-year-old right now, we've tried to maneuver city life, and it's very difficult. It just takes so much more energy. So you have more energy and time to do the things that you should be doing, like playing with bubbles in the backyard, or the other thing is my little 1-year-old loves the chickens and the ducks and the cats and the dogs, and she gets to run up to them and hug them every day and run outside in the field. She loves running in fields, and yeah, it's amazing to see how you can put so much more into your day when you're living in a place that doesn't have so much hustle and bustle, because you don't have to concentrate on just living. You can concentrate on a lot more of the fun living things. That's what I definitely like, focusing on the things that matter instead of the things that are just there to stay alive, like getting food or moving around. The community of Holt County definitely has helped in multiple ways, and it's mainly through just like emotional support and being a small business owner with Wildflour. We created kind of a little community within our business infrastructure where we had people who had created other small businesses around town, and they would give us advice, and that advice was incredibly helpful. There's always someone that's trying to look out for you or trying to make your business, be fruitful and to survive even the hardships like a pandemic. So that's where we've seen a lot of that help. And now that we're becoming more of an established business, we're trying to be doing the same thing with others as well, where it's just we want to offer that support and make sure that people are thriving in the hard times, especially in the startup times for anyone who's trying something new. So one of the things too that I was just reflecting on this with a coworker, where they were like, Colorado's great. Why did you ever leave Colorado? And I was like, well, the weather was great. There weren't any bugs. Like, it's fun to go, in your back door and ski and snowboard. But it really is the people, like the people in Colorado. Sorry for anyone in Colorado that might be watching this, but they're just a little different than the people in Nebraska. And that's where, in Nebraska, a good example is like people always talk about Nebraskans going into bars and always coming out with best friends. Like that's just the way Nebraskans are. They like to talk to people. They're just genuinely kind, and that's what I really like about this community and even Nebraskans in general. It's been great to be home for the last decade plus.